A group of construction workers was digging deep to build a subway station when they found a strange cave that smelled terrible. They went inside to look around and were shocked to see the huge area was covered with several piles of garbage. As they looked, they didn't notice the giant spiders sneaking around or the mysterious tentacle following them. Deep inside the cave, the group found a large sphere that looked like an egg, but they thought it was a gem. Suddenly, they were startled by a noise, but it was just their boss who had come to see why construction was taking so long. Noticing the egg, the boss told the workers to take it out so they could sell it. Meanwhile, a worker named Chidong had walked off on his own. After he stepped in some strange sticky goo, his flashlight started to stop working. As he tried to fix it, the flickering light accidentally woke something up. A huge creature rose up from the garbage, and Chidong screamed when he saw it. He ran back to his group and tried to warn them about the monster, but they could already hear it moving all around them. Suddenly, a tentacle shot out and pulled one of the workers away. Everyone started running in panic as more tentacles kept popping out of the garbage to grab as many people as possible. Chidong cried when he saw his brother caught too, and the others had to drag him away. The group barely made it out of the cave right before a tentacle hit the garbage, causing the piles to collapse and seal the entrance. On the surface near the construction site, Hikai and his son Zyojai were picking up some nails that had almost ruined their truck's tires. At that moment, they saw a flock of birds fly away in terror, and a truck came speeding down the road, escaping from the construction site. The father and son quickly moved out of the way. The speeding truck ran over the nails, causing it to shake and drop some boxes. The truck drove off without noticing, so Hikai opened a box and found the egg from the cave. Thinking he could sell it for good money, he put it in his vehicle. On the way home, Zyojai put his ear against the shell and was scared to hear something moving inside, but Hikai thought he was just imagining things. When they arrived at their junkyard home, Hikai noticed a fancy car parked nearby and his good mood instantly disappeared. Hikai took off his wedding ring before going inside and found his ex-wife Lina, who was not happy that her son was living in such a dirty place. To make things worse, her new fiancé Liren had brought a bunch of expensive toys for Zyojai, which Hikai couldn't afford. Lina announced that she was moving to another province and taking Zyojai with her so he could have a better life. Liren explained that Zyojai could take over his company one day, pointing out that the boy shouldn't be picking up trash all day like his father. This angered Hikai and he punched Liren, starting a fight. Lin-Na tried to stop them, but the men ignored her and started biting each other like animals. It wasn't until Lin-Na left with Zyojai that Liren finally stopped fighting and followed them out. That night, Hikai's father Zhanghai was taking care of his son's wounds while watching TV. A reporter was trying to cover the missing workers at the construction site, but the signal kept failing. Outside, their dog kept walking nervously in circles near the truck. It turned out the egg had started to hatch, and the noise was driving all the animals in the area crazy. The dog started barking loudly. Zhanghai thought they might have a burglar, so he went outside to investigate. He noticed the truck shaking and a strange goo dripping out of it, so he looked through the window and was shocked to see a tentacle. A terrified Zhanghai ran back inside to tell his son, but by the time Hikai came out, the entire truck had vanished. Suddenly, an object fell to the ground. The men looked up to see the truck had been lifted high up by a bunch of tentacles. The monster saw the men and immediately retreated into the truck, causing it to crash back down to the ground. Before the men could react, the tentacles came out again to attack them, so they ran back into the house. Hikai was so scared that he almost locked his father out when he closed the door. Just then they heard a car approaching and were horrified to see it was Lin-Na coming back with the boy. When Zyojai tried to run to his father, he was quickly grabbed by a tentacle. Lin-Na immediately held her son's arms and tried to pull him free, but the monster was too strong and wouldn't let go. Luckily, Hikai arrived with a knife and cut off the tentacle, freeing Zyojai. Then the family worked together to pour gasoline all over the tentacles and throw a lighter, setting the creature on fire. The monster shrieked in pain as it slowly died, while Hikai realized he had lost his chance to make money. As the group went inside the house, Hikai wondered how the creature got there. Zyojai simply said it came out of the egg. Just then, Liren arrived with his bodyguards and saw everyone was fine. He got angry at Lin-Na for calling him and interrupting his business meeting over nothing. Suddenly, the whole place started shaking, and the lights flickered as an even bigger monster appeared in the yard. Soon, the house began to fall apart because the tentacles were squeezing the entire building. The roof was smashed, and the humans could finally see the monster's terrifying face. They wanted to get inside with them and started breaking through the windows, causing everyone to panic. Liren immediately ran away without caring about his fiancée, and his scared bodyguards escaped with him. The monster roared and started to throw those men around, hitting a bunch of trash before grabbing Liren. It looked at him closely, then threw him away as well. Then the monster turned toward the family, who tried to run away. However, Zhanghai fell and Hikai stopped to help him. The monster used the chance to grab Zyojai, pushing both parents away in the process. After sniffing Zyojai, the monster jumped into the ground and disappeared with the child. Hikai and Lin-Na ran to look into the hole, but somehow it had closed up. Lin-Na was left in shock, while a desperate Hikai tried to dig the ground with his bare hands. Eventually, he gave up and tried to comfort Lin-Na, who slapped him and pushed him as she had a breakdown. TV continued to talk about the possibility of a monster being loose, so Lin Na furiously turned it off. Minutes later, their sadness was interrupted by Professor of Marine Biology Lao Jia and his assistant Ale, who had been tracking the monster with a special device. After excitedly asking a lot of questions, the professor revealed he was an old friend of Jiang Hai's. Then Lao Jia took a close look at the tentacle and explained that they had killed the baby of the cave creature. When the creature came looking for its egg, it smelled Xiaojai and thought he was its baby. This meant the boy was probably still alive. Meanwhile, Xiaojai woke up in the garbage cave just in time to push away a huge spider that was about to fall on his face. As he called out for his parents, a mysterious group of insects flew near his head. Then, the monster showed up. Xiaojai backed away in fear, so the creature opened its outer face shell to reveal a smile. It also licked the kid to calm him down. Since Xiaojai was still scared and hated the licking, the monster roared in frustration. Just then they heard some music and looked around in confusion until they realized it was coming from the beast belly. The creature started screaming in pain and fell over while Xiaojai watched, confused. Then the monster ran to hide behind the garbage and tried to spit out the machine, but couldn't. Xiaojai tried to use the chance to run away, but he couldn't find his way out. There was a radio in the trash and Xiaojai tried it, but it didn't work. Hearing the monster scream in agony made Xiaojai feel bad and he offered to help. Some wires were coming out of the creature's mouth, so Xiaojai started pulling until he managed to get the machine out of the monster's body. Feeling instantly better, the beast grabbed Xiaojai to thank him for saving its life, then put him back down before falling on top of the garbage to take a nap. At the junkyard, Lao Jia told the family they should give up on their son, but Jiang Hai reminded the professor that he owed him one after ruining his life by suing the factory he worked for, which caused Jiang Hai to lose his job. Feeling guilty, Lao Jia brought the family to his lab, where he kept creepy statues of all the monsters he studied. He thought the only way to save Xiaojai was to put the creature to sleep with tranquilizers strong enough to knock out animals bigger than elephants. Lao Jia also revealed he had created a chemical that could kill the monster, but it shouldn't be used unless the beast was completely evil, so it was a last resort. Meanwhile, Qidong couldn't stop thinking about all the friends he lost and started planning his revenge. In the cave, Xiaojai watched the monster eat garbage and tried to look for better food, but there was nothing good to eat around. As the creature tried to share the trash with the boy, Xiaojai realized it ate garbage because that was the only thing available. Noticing that the monster laughed while it ate, Xiaojai began throwing garbage right into its mouth to feed it, which became their little game. Seeing that the monster wasn't evil, Xiaojai began playing with it, pretending to be a superhero who defeats a powerful enemy. The beast even fell down under Xiaojai's pretend attack, happy to play along. Sometime later, Xiaojai was napping on the creature's belly when a strange noise woke him up. He went to investigate, only to suddenly be grabbed by a stranger. It was one of the construction workers who wanted to kill the creature and save the boy. When Xiaojai told him to stop because the monster didn't eat people, the man thought he was confused and told him all his coworkers were dead. Then the man tried to sneak toward the creature, carefully moving around all the tentacles. However, the monster sensed him anyway and woke up to start chasing after him. The worker grabbed Xiaojai and started running away in panic, but in his desperation he accidentally dropped Xiaojai into some filthy water. The creature was getting closer, so the man kept running without helping Xiaojai, who was slowly drowning. As the worker was cornered by the beast, a giant spider began moving toward him from behind. The monster saw it and roared furiously, causing the spider to run away and the worker to pass out. Then, the creature used its tentacle to easily pull Xiaojai out of the water at the last second. It gently put him down on the ground and tried to wake him up, but Xiaojai wouldn't respond and the monster began to cry. In the meantime, Lao Jia was getting ready to go look for the monster with the parents. While waiting in Hikai's car, Lin Na found some strange medicine and a piece of paper with Hikai's wedding ring. Paper revealed that Hikai suffered from a long-term illness, and Lin Na started crying. When Hikai joined her in the car, Lin Na asked him why he never told her about his illness and wondered if that was why he divorced her. Hikai said she was imagining things and he only wanted to focus on spending time with his son. The conversation was interrupted by Jiang Hai, who announced it was time to leave. When the family arrived at the tunnel, they were surprised to find a group of workers led by Qidong using explosives to open the cave again. They told the family to leave because they were about to release some poison to kill the monster. Hikai begged them to stop because Xiaojai was still alive and the poison would kill him too. As an argument broke out, Qidong pointed out they couldn't let the creature live or it would soon attack the town. Hikai started yelling at him since his plan might kill any other survivors too. Jiang Hai used this distraction to break the workers' gas machine. Pushing past the men, the family finally entered the cave. As they walked among the piles of trash, Ale used her device and the group followed its signal. Hikai found Xiaojai's keychain on the ground and felt a little hopeful. Eventually, they found the monster next to Xiaojai's body and assumed the worst. The parents wanted to run to their son, but Jiang Hai stopped them, pointing out they couldn't fight such a huge beast. The creature could hear them but ignored them for now. Then, Lao Jia fired the tranquilizer, which the monster easily knocked away with its tentacle. Now angry, the creature roared as it put its mask back on. Hikai fired a second shot, and Lin Na threw a bottle of the chemical compound directly at it. At first, it looked like the monster wasn't bothered. It took a moment to move Xiaojai to a safer spot before approaching the group ready to fight. However, the tranquilizer finally worked and the monster fell and passed out. The parents immediately climbed the piles of junk to reach their son and listened to his heart to confirm he was still alive. Meanwhile, Laojia took a blood sample from a tentacle while Ale recorded the process. To their surprise, the tranquilizer hadn't worked as expected and the beast woke up in a very bad mood. It reached out to rescue Xiaojai from the humans, but its tentacle was stopped by an arrow shot by the workers who surrounded the monster to try to kill it. Getting even angrier, the beast began lashing out, knocking a few men down. Refusing to give up, the humans quickly fought back by throwing a bunch of hooks to hold the creature. A worker took out a flamethrower and started burning the beast's body, but a tentacle brought him down. At the same time, some workers found Laojia's bag with the poison and stole it. Laojia and Ale tried to stop them, but they barely fought them before Qidong grabbed the bottle. He threw the poison into the creature's face, which deeply hurt it but didn't quite kill it yet. The man tried to get some dynamite ready, so Zhonghai tackled him to stop him. Then Qidong shot a huge arrow into the monster's chest to speed up its death. At that moment, Xiaojai woke up and was heartbroken to see the workers throwing more and more chemicals at the creature, so he screamed at them to stop as he cried. The monster realized the boy was alive and gained strength from its wish to protect him, so now it could fight back by throwing all the humans onto the garbage piles. The man finally pushed Zhonghai off and lit the dynamite before throwing it, causing a small explosion that shook the mountains of garbage and caused Xiaojai to fall. The bleeding creature reached out and caught the child just in time, surprising the family. Unfortunately, there was a pile of trash about to fall on top of Xiaojai, so the monster cut in and acted as a shield to protect him. Since it was already very weak from the attacks, the trash made the wounds worse. As Xiaojai begged his parents to help his friend, the workers surrounded the monster and started attacking it again. They ignored Xiaojai's cries as they stabbed the belly of the beast, who tried to reach for the boy one last time. At that moment, Qidong landed a powerful blow, finally killing it. Afterward, Qidong removed the spear and found only trash inside the monster's body but no human bodies. Suddenly, a bunch of survivors came out of hiding and explained that it was the giant spiders who had killed humans, and the big monster was only protecting them from the spiders. All the times it attacked were in self-defense. As the workers dropped their weapons, Qidong looked at the creature's body and realized he had become the real monster. Sometime later, Hikai's house was in much better shape thanks to the money he had earned by giving interviews about his adventure. He always told reporters that the monster had been protecting his son, but they never believed him because they thought monsters were evil. Hikai pointed out all the damage humans are doing to the planet and wondered who the real monsters are. Lin Na had broken things off with her fiancé and asked Hikai to marry her again. Hikai happily accepted and threw away the medicine as he hugged her. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.